Welcome back to the 9th standard social studies classes. Dear student, in this class we are going to discuss about one of the division of social studies classes, that is sociology. In sociology we are going to discuss about a new topic. Before going to start the lesson, I will ask a few questions, dear student. Yes, Raju, stand up. How many members are there in your home? How many? 5. Very good. Sit down. Kiran, you stand up. How many members are there in your home? 6. Very good. Okay, dear student, Raju said that he has 5 members in his home. Kiran says that he has 6 members in his house. Let us go that. See, what we call for these group of members lived in a particular area or lived in a particular home or lived in a single roof. What we call for these group of members, dear student? Yes, what is that? Family. Good. My dear student, what I am going to say is family. Now today we are going to discuss about the first lesson in the sociology part, family. What is that? Family. What we call for family in Kannada? Very good. Kutumba. My dear student, we know very well that we are having numbers of number in our family, in our home, but actually we cannot define these group of members lived in a particular home as family. But when we study these things in a particular way, we say that family. Very good. Let us go through the some learning points in this lesson. In this class we shall study about these learning points in the lesson. First one, meaning of family. Second one, characteristics of a family. And then types of family and characteristics of joint family. My dear student, in this class we shall study about these important aspects about a family. And then let us go, what is meant by family? Family means, what is meant by family? Yes, family, it is nothing but the living together of husband and wife with the children or without children for a long time under a single roof. It is called as family. Yes, I will repeat once again. Dear student, the meaning of family is nothing but living together of husband and wife with their children or without children for a long time under a single roof. So this is called a family. I hope that, dear student, you understood the meaning of family. Very good. Then, let us see how did this word family origin. Very good. The word family is derived from the Latin word famulus. What is that? Latin word famulus. What is that? Famulus. It is derived from, the word family is derived from the word, from a Latin word. It has come from Latin word. Famulus. Dear student, what is meant by famulus? Famulus means to serve. To serve the members who are presented with us in our family. See, what is meant by famulus? Very good. Serve. Yes. without expecting anything else. Without expecting anything else from the others, we should give service to the other, our siblings or members who are lived with us. Very good. This is known as, yes, meaning of families. Dear student, let us see how can we call a group of members as family. See, what are the important aspects should be there to consider to a group of family as a family, or what are the important characteristics should be needed to be considered a group of members as family. Let us go the characteristics of family. See, what are the characteristics of family? First one, my dear student, first one, universal. What is that? Universal is the first characteristics of a family. So let us see what is called a universal. Universal is nothing but the system is not only existed in a particular area but also existed throughout the world. Yes, if you go to next to our village, we will have family, and if you go to another village, there will be also a family. A number of family can be seen in another village. If you go to another district, yes, there can be seen many families. If you go to another state, yes, there are also many families live there. And if you go to another country, yes, if you go to America, there are also families. And Yugoslavia, then if you go to the countries in African continent, we can also see families. The number of people who live in a particular area living together with their living together of husband and wife with their children or without children in a particular area under a particular roof. This can be seen not only in our village, not only in our state, not only in our country, but also the entire world. So that is why this kind of system is accepted by everyone in this world. So that is why it is called as the family, and this universal system is considered as the prime characteristics of a family. Got it, dear student? Yes. Next one is basic unit for all social activities. Dear student, can you list out what are the social activities? Yes, social activities are nothing but, yes, living together. It is also one of the characteristics of social activities, and giving and taking. Give and take policy, it is also one of the social activities, and helping one to another, this is also social activity. And then coordination. See, we may have coordination with our other members in our family, isn't it? If I help to our brother or sister, she or he will also help me. It is nothing but coordination. But we do not pay any kind of amount for their service. This is called service oriented. As we discussed earlier, when we were knowing the meaning of families, it is nothing but serve without expectation. We should not expect anything else from the members of our family. So that is why these are the basic unit of all social activities. Helping nature can be seen, and coordination can be seen, and giving and taking policy can be seen, and then having kith and kin personalities can be seen. So these are the basic unit of social activities. This is one of the important characteristics of a family. Yes. The next one is continuous responsibility and social accountability. Dear student, in a family, every member in a family have their own responsibility. If father is having the responsibility of taking care of all his elders or his youngest, he should be done, or the things or the responsibilities should be done by him with a great manner, and he should have some responsibility like that. And then if you go to mother's side, see what is the prime intention of mother? What is her duty in a family? He should take care of her children as well as her husband, and if there any grandchildren, all these members should be taken care of mother. So, my dear student, the third characteristics of family is continuous responsibility and social accountability. Dear student, in a family, every member in a family has their own responsibility. See, being a head of the family, he does his responsibility. He bringing the things, and he helps the other members in the family, and he takes the whole responsibility of the family, and he helps to develop the entire family in the family. Then the mother responsibility is nothing but taking care of all the family members and preparing food and maintain the cleanliness in the house. This is their responsibility. And then social accountability. See, these responsibility, the individual responsibility helps to develop the consolidation responsibility of the whole family. It helps to the entire accountability of a family. It helps to develop the nation at the end. Dear student, if a family is developing in a village, gradually the village develops. If a village is developing, gradually the district develops. As district develops, the state develops. As state develops, the nation develops. See, everything is prepared from the base food is known as family. See, every member in the family have their own responsibility, and this responsibility will help the development of the entire nation. And this is the third characteristics of a family, and bringing up and nurturing. See, being the elder of the family, father and mother, these are the elder of the family. So what is their duty? Their duty is bringing up the children in the family and giving them the education and provide them the things what they like, and they must show the right way to cultivate some moral ethics in their life. These are the responsibility of a family, and nurturing. So here, mother and other women who are there in the house, these people should take care of the children. They provide the proper food, some nutrition food, and then these things help to the development of the family members. And then teaches social values in the family. My dear student, here family, the very important characteristic of a family is family teaches the social behavior or social ethics or social values to the family members. See, as we say in Kannada, Mane Modala Pathashale, Tai Kane Modaladu. It says in Kannada. See here, mother is the first teacher and home is the first school. See, as soon as the child develops in the home, see, it projects the behavior what it has learned in their house from their family members. It projects these things. It exhibits these behavior what it has learned in the family to the public or the public places. So if it is presented in a right way, the family is admired very well in the public, or the child is not presented its values in the public in a right way, the family is again scolded or blamed by the society. So it is nothing but everything is developed from the family. The child learns all the social behavior from the home and exhibits these things in the society. And then one more very important characteristics of family is nothing but instruct the tradition. So since the elders of the family, father and mother, they practice their traditional works, they practice their rituals, and while they are practicing all these rituals in the family, unknowingly the younger members or the children in the family, they learn how to develop the traditional activities, how to involve themselves in the traditional worships. These should be learned by the other younger members in the family, by the elders. So here, elders, parent or the grandparent should be the model in the family. What they do in the family, everything is being observed by the younger generation in the family. So gradually, the tradition transfer from generation to generation. So unknowingly, these generations teaches and instruct the traditional values to the other junior generation. Dear student, these are the characteristics of a family. Let us see generation in a family. My dear student, generation is divided into three types. One is first generation. It is consisted of a grandparent, what we call in Kannada Ajja and Ajji. Very good. First generation consisting of grandparent, grandfather and grandmother. Very good. The second generation is consisting of parent, father and mother. The third one is the third generation. It is consisting of, as we know, children. Here in the generation we have three kind of generation: grandparent, then parent, and then below that children. So these are the three kinds of generation what we have in our family. Then two generation family. Let us see the two generation family. See what is called two generation family? Yes, very good. Father, mother and children. This is the consisting of father, mother and children is known as the second generation family. And then the third or three generation family. Here the third generation family is consisting of, as we discussed earlier, grandparents, parents and children. These are called as the third generation. And then extended family. See here, extended family is nothing but the prolonged family. We can see number of members in a family. See what people can be seen in this extended family. Very good. Here we can see grandparents, parents, children and grandchildren. Here we can see, we may also say that four generations. We may also say that four generations. This is called as the extended family. It is the special kind. Nowadays we can find only few of Crores family. Isn't it, my dear student? We can only find this kind of family in a one or two family can be found in a Crore family in this contemporary world. And then let us see the types of family. See, there are different types of family with the following natures. See, according to the nature, the families are divided into different kinds. See, what are those? First one, on the basis of kinship, on the basis of relation, the family can be divided into two types. What is that? Matriarchal family and patriarchal family. Dear student, here matriarchal family. What is called a matriarchal family? Yes, matriarchal family is nothing but a family which is headed by father. A family which is headed by the father is called as the matriarchal family, and the other one is patriarchal family. Yes, my dear student, I would like to make a small correction here. There are two types of family on the basis of on the basis of kinship. First one is matriarchal family and patriarchal family. Yes, matriarchal family is the family which is headed by mother. Yes, very good. The family which is headed by the mother is called as the matriarchal family. And another one is patriarchal family. The family which is headed by father. It is called as the patriarchal family. And then next one is on the basis of ancestor or descendant. Then based on the nature of authority. My dear student, based on the nature of authority, matriarchal family, what is meant by matriarchal family? A family which is the right of the property and successorship belong to the women is called as the matriarchal family. We have discussed earlier. And then the natures or the features of matriarchal family. The first feature of matriarchal family is mother-centered family system. Here is the mother will be the center of the family, and all the asset is on the name of mother. And then rights of property belong to the women. Yes, very good. The hereditary principle, the hereditary rights passes on the daughter from the mother. Dear student, look at here. The entire hereditary rights passes on the daughter, the elder daughter from the mother. See, whereas in the patriarchal family, yes, the younger son would be received the authority by the father. That is called patriarchal family. See, where can we see where Hello my dear student, welcome back to the 9th standard social studies classes. Dear student, in the last class we were discussed about the first part in family chapter. See, up to the matriarchal family, this was the point where we stopped in the last class. Today let us go the second type of family on the basis of authority, that is patriarchal family. Before going to start the lesson, dear student, yesterday we were discussing about the meaning of family and where the word family derived from, and what are the characteristics of a family and types of family. See, these were the points what we had discussed in the last class, and I hope that you understood in the last class. Let us go the complete meaning about the patriarchal family. The meaning of patriarchal family. My dear student, on the basis of authority, the family is divided into two types. One is matriarchal family, another one is patriarchal family. Yesterday we discussed about matriarchal family. Matriarchal family is a family where the entire asset of a family on the name of the mother, and the authority passes to the eldest daughter from the mother. This is the system of matriarchal family, and we discussed about these things in the last class. Let us go the patriarchal family. Dear student, the meaning of patriarchal family is nothing but the family which is headed by father. Dear student, what we have in our family, what we have in our home, our father will be the head of the family, isn't it? So just like that, a family which is headed by the father and all the assets are on the name of the father, and all the assets pass to the elder son to the father. So this is the system we can call patriarchal family. Yes, sir. A family in which father is the head is called as the patriarchal family. See, we are having such a kind of family in our surroundings, isn't it? Then let us see how can we consider the patriarchal family. If we want to consider a family as a patriarchal family, we should have some characteristics. We should know some characteristics. Let us see the second point. What are the characteristics of a patriarchal family, or the features of a patriarchal family? My dear student, as I said in the definition, see, father is the head of the family. Yes, father always will be the head of the family in a patriarchal family. See what we have in our home. See, who is the head in our family? Yes, in our family, my father is the head, and he takes care of all the family members, and all the asset of our family is on the name of my father. Just like that, you can also observe in your home. See, who is the head of the family? Very good, father. Then, yes, very good, father. So this is the first features of the family. Then, see, married women live in the residence of their husband. My dear student, the second feature of a patriarchal family is married woman takes a resident to her husband's house. So this is the one of the characteristics of a patriarchal family. Married woman, she comes under the leadership of her husband, and it is our custom that the married woman should be with her husband in her husband's house. So this is the second characteristic. Then the eldest son has the prominent role. My dear student, in the patriarchal family, as I told, according to definition, the eldest son, the topmost senior son of father, is the person who is having the prominent role in the house. Suppose, just think, dear student, if the head of the family dies, unfortunately, if he dies, the entire asset will carry on the name of his eldest son, isn't it? So it is actually said in our constitution also. So this is also one of the features of our patriarchal family. And then rights are centered around men. Here we can say that men are having complete power in patriarchal family, and they have complete rights. If it is compared to the women, men are having complete rights in such a kind of patriarchal family. But whereas in the matriarchal family, women have complete power than men. But here, men are having complete right to take any decisions in the family than women. Then next, Petri, see where can we see such a kind of families? My dear student, in the last class we were discussing about the matriarchal family can be seen only in Kerala, especially Nayar family, isn't it? And then some tribal areas. But here, where can we see the patriarchal family in India, especially not only in India, to the world. Especially, we can see such a kind of family in Greece, Rome, even India and China. Such a kind of a patriarchal family can be seen only in these Greece, Rome, India and China. Very good. Next, the another point is, my dear student, modern nuclear. Yes, modern nuclear family. My dear student, in this contemporary world, such kind of families are developing too much because the circumstances are like that, the situations are like that, and people, especially people, want privacy. People want privacy. And more number of people who are having job in cities or towns or metropolis cities like to have such a kind of family, modern nuclear family. Then what is the meaning of modern nuclear family? My dear student, family that consists of father, mother and their unmarried children. Dear student, the family which is consisting of father, mother and their unmarried children. Such kind of family are considered as modern nuclear family. See, this kind of families can be seen, more number of families can be seen in today, day-to-day, contemporary world, especially in towns and cities. Then, so let us see what are the very important essential points. Modern nuclear family have increased in modern society. Why? Why these modern nuclear family are increasing nowadays? See, what are the important aspects to be there? What are the important aspects to be studied? Why they have increased too much in this world and nowadays? The first point is individuality. As I told, my dear student, every person needs privacy and individuality. So that is why only for this sake, the person, once he gets a job, he likes to live only in towns and cities. So that's why he used to migrate from rural area to town or cities. So that is why he always gives more importance to individuality. And then second one is focus on individual achievement. The second feature is focus on individuality. And then concept of individual happiness. See, the people who like to have such a kind of modern nuclear family, they think that they would feel very happy when they have such a kind of modern nuclear family in towns and cities. See, that is why they think that they would get more happy and they feel very happy with their unmarried children in towns and cities. So that is why they used to have such a kind of family. And nowadays, because having such a kind of mentality, nowadays these kind of nuclear family are increasing. And then rights of property. See, in the rural area, if a person or a father having two sons, if the two sons are not willing to stay under single roof, they are advised to divide. So when they divide, they like to have their own family. So that is why the divided family will be created as modern nuclear family. So it is also one of the point of that. rights of property. Since they have their own right, since they have their own property, they like to spend their more time with their own property. And then rapid urbanization. My dear student, it is the one of the important aspects why such kind of modern nuclear families are increasing. See, urbanization. Nowadays we can observe. If you go to any town or any cities in this year, and if you take a 1 year gap or 5 year gap, if you go to the same city after 5 years, you will see the drastic change in the cities. See why? Because of this number of houses are developing, number of areas are developing. Why? Because of only one reason. Why urbanization is going there? Why we can see urbans are developing too much, or they are rapid too much, rapid progress in urbans. Only because of that, the people who wanted to live in cities, the people once they get a job, they like to migrate from a village to town or cities. So this the frequent happening of or the frequent migration of the people from a village to town. This is the progress or processing of urbanization. This is also one of the feature of a modern nuclear family, and why these modern nuclear families are increasing. One of the reasons. Then science and technology. See, nowadays we can observe that we can because of the development of science and technology, the person one can reach to the another planet. So because of only the science and technology, since they have knowledge of science and technology, they would like to settle down in towns or cities. So that is why this is also one of the reasons to become to have a modern nuclear family. And then next one is concept of quality. Since the people think that they wanted to live their life very happily, they wanted to lead their life very happily. They think that they must give good education for their children, and they must get all the amenities from the urbanization. So only for this reason, the people like to live only in towns, and they wanted to lead their life quality to life. So that is why they like to have such kind of modern nuclear family. My dear student, these are the important reasons why these modern nuclear families are increasing. And then, what are these silent features of a modern nuclear family? Let us see. First one is small in size. My dear student, as we discussed in the definition of a modern nuclear family. See what definition says about modern nuclear family? Yes. Here, the family consisting of a husband, wife and their unmarried children. See what would be the number of the family? Yes, there might be husband 1, wife 2 and unmarried children. They may be 1 or 2. So not more than 4 members could be seen only in a modern nuclear family. So that is why, since such a kind of family having only 4 or 3 in number, it is small in size. And then simple social control. See here, if in the rural area, countryside, one family is controlled by the whole family or all families in the village. They are supposed to directed by the surrounding neighboring families, and the family knows very well all the neighboring families in the villages. But if you go to urban areas, the family does not know who are lived in their neighbor side. So that is why simple social control. Here, the social control is not frustrated. The social control is not completely seen in a way urban area. Whereas in rural area, we can see the complete social control on a family. And then next feature is more freedom to the members. See, just compare between joint family and single family. See, single family can be seen only 5 or 4 members, whereas in a joint family we can see more than 10 or 15 members. So here we cannot see any privacy in joint family, but where in a single family all the members have their own privacy. So that is why in a single family, especially in modern nuclear family, since it is low in number, they have more freedom to do their works more than in a joint family where all the members do not have equal freedom. So that is why such a kind of family are having more freedom. And then favor modern technology. Yes, since they have more freedom, since the member of a modern nuclear family have more freedom, they will get all kind of education, so that they will get good knowledge in society. They will also able to get science and technology knowledge also, since because they are living in towns and cities. But where the joint family, they cannot get such kind of facilities in a village because they are living in villages. And then complexity. So such a kind of complexity can be seen only in a modern nuclear family, but where simplicity can be seen in a joint family who are living in a rural area or countryside. So dear student, these are the modern nuclear families features of modern nuclear family. Then let us see the next point, joint family. My dear student, what is called a joint family? Joint family is nothing but we can see more number of members in joint family. A family consisting of a grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, children, grandchildren and great grandchildren. So such kind of a member can only seen in a joint family. My dear student, a family consisting of a grandfather, grandmother, father, mother and their children and their great grandchildren. See, in this family we can see a huge number of members in family. Yes, then what are the characteristics of a joint family? Yes, as I told in the definition, it has large in numbers. First one is large in number, big in size, because there are many numbers in family. Then coordination and cooperation. See, we can see coordination and cooperation one is to another in the family members. And then third one is same residence and same kitchen. See, all the members, they would like to use the same kitchen and they live with the same roof and they would like to their own residence. And the fourth characteristics of a joint family is belief in the same religion and practice. My dear student, all the members who are live in a joint family under a single roof, they practice only one religion, they practice only one God, or they worship only one God. Yes, this is also one of the characteristics. Then a self-sufficient unit. See, all the members, they get sufficient satisfaction among the members, because since this kind of family having coordination, cooperation, everybody gives help each other. So that is why they will get the satisfaction in their family. And the last one is serious authority and responsibility. My dear student, here in the family, the father will be the head of the family and he is having the entire authority and all the assets of the family is on the name of the head of the family, and he is also having the complete responsibility of the whole members of the family. And if they want to do any kind of activities in the house, they would like to sit together and discuss about the matters, and they will take the decision according to the seniority in the family. So these are the important things, my dear student, what we have discussed now. Then today, and we have come to an end of the lesson. My dear student, I hope that you understood my class, and we will meet in the next class with the next lesson. Thank you so much.